Creations, Crochet and More. My name is Margaret. I hope that a few of you will join me this morning while I do my live from the front porch for a change. I decided while we have some nice weather that it would be a good day to hang out here on the front porch. And right now I'm trying to get my other phone revved up so I can see the chat. So I hope a few of you will pop in and join me. And let me get this turned down. Hey Lana, how are you guys? Hi Julianne. Hi Tank, good morning. Nice to see all of you. So yeah, I'm just out here. It's kind of a little rainy day, but the temperature is perfect, and this is where I spend a whole lot of my time crocheting. I really love to get out here and enjoy the nice weather. So yeah, and I will show you. We've got Icy hanging out down at the end of the porch. That's his spot. That's where he spends a whole lot of his time, because he is a very noisy, yeah, he is noisy once in a while, but he's a very nosy dog, and he likes to hang out outside on the front porch where he can see what's going on in the neighborhood and watch all the neighbors and make sure everything is on the up and up. Yeah, so he's hanging out here with me. He's already had his morning treats, so he is good to go for a while, I think. So we probably won't hear anything out of him. So how is everybody today? Are you got something to work on? I have the beginnings of the moss stitch blanket that I've been working on. I only usually work on this while I go live, so it has not grown much since the last time we were together. It's been sitting on my desk waiting for me to go live again. I am going to let you know some upcoming stuff that I've got planned. Last year, during the fall, Kim had done some pumpkins that she melted and dripped crayon down the outside of the pumpkin. Excuse me. And that kind of gave me some inspiration. I'd like to incorporate that into a pumpkin project of my own. Now, several years back, I did a pumpkin. I got one of those carvable pumpkins from Hobby Lobby, so it's like foam, and you can basically carve it like a regular pumpkin. It's hollow inside, so you can put a light down in it. Well, what I did was drilled holes randomly all over it and put those vase filler beads that you can get, the glass things. I stuck those into the holes so that when I put a light in, the light would shine through those glass beads. And then I took black paint and basically did henna designs all over the pumpkin. I'll have to dig it up and show it to you guys. So when I saw Kim's project, that kind of inspired me to do the crayon thing, but also incorporate my take on it with the glass beads and the henna designs. So what I'm thinking is I will start out dripping the crayon down it, and then get some of my metallic paints and do henna designs, and then of course put the glass beads in to put the light in. So hopefully you guys will join me on that journey. It may be a week or two before I get that one in the works, but yeah, I would like to, sometime in the beginning of October, I would like to do that one. Another thing I've got upcoming is I am going to be starting a new trio blanket. A trio blanket is really cool because you can put, you use 3 different yarns and you never have to cut your yarn. You're carrying your yarn up the side, and makes a beautiful blanket. And I have done a couple of them, and I am looking forward to doing another one. I ordered some really pretty yarn. I'm waiting on the last of it to get here today, so I will be starting that really soon. I'm seeing some new people in here. Looks like we've got Stella. Hello, nice to see you. Nice to see Hope's Crochet Things. Thank you for stopping in. Good morning, Hazel. I think I saw Kimberly back a little bit ago. Nice to see you this morning. So what is everybody up to? What have you got on your hooks? Anything fun? I can't believe tomorrow is the first day of fall. I'm just not really ready for fall yet. I would actually like summer to continue a while more. Good morning, Hazel. I'm not sure I said hello to you, so hello, and thanks for stopping by the Songbird's Nest. I'm glad my neighbors know that I'm a YouTuber, so they won't think I'm crazy sitting out here talking to my phone. Thank you, Julianne. I hope it will turn out nice. I want to get, I've got one carvable pumpkin right now. I want to get another one because I'd like to test out the idea before I try and do it on camera. So, yeah, I'm going to get another couple of pumpkins so that I can do one on camera and feel comfortable doing that. Good morning, Lisa. Good to see you. I've been spending the time before I got on the live running up and down from the basement trying to collect all my pieces and parts to be able to set up to live stream from outside. So, yeah. I'm kind of a little sweaty now after making trips up and down the basement stairs. 11:42 p.m. in Australia. Well, Hope, thank you so much for joining us at that late hour. I hope we're not going over your bedtime. Yeah, the sound of the crickets and the sounds of the birds. Now, if I was out in my backyard, you'd really hear the crickets. There's a ton of crickets out there. But yeah, there are a few that you can hear out here. Julianne, yes, I did. Thank God. I did get some good sleep last night. I actually I got some sleep yesterday afternoon. I took a little bit of a nap, and then I ended up being on not on Camille's Live, but watching Camille's Live. Pretty much, if Camille is live, I'm there for as long as I can be. She did a live stream earlier in the day, and then she stopped that one, and then she came back later in the evening and did one. And so I hung out there for a while, but about 1 o'clock in the morning, I decided enough was enough. I needed to get some sleep so I could be here with you guys this morning on my own live stream. So I told everybody on that live, good night, and see you later. So... I try to be a night owl, but I also have a tendency to wake up early in the morning, so it's kind of hard to do both things. Being a night owl and waking up early in the morning isn't conducive to getting much rest. So, oh well. I guess, as they say, you rest when you're in the grave, right? Okay, what am I doing here? So my neighbor stopped over and talked to me yesterday, and she wanted to let me know that they are going to be getting a puppy, and she showed me pictures of him. He's a Basset Hound puppy, and he's just adorable, of course. And she wants to commission me to do a doggy sweater for him. So I told her once she gets him, bring him on over. We'll do some measurements, and I will try to whip something up. And what I was thinking is making it so that it would kind of have some extra, like under his belly, and kind of crisscross, and then tie on his back, so that as he expands, the sweater will expand with him, and she won't have to be paying me constantly to make him new sweaters. But hopefully Icy will react well to him, and they will be buddies, I hope. It would be nice for Icy to have a buddy. Marianne, I am really sorry I missed you as well. Yeah, with Friday night being such a bad night, I was trying to sleep as much as I could yesterday. So I did end up sleeping in a while. But as my time allows me today, I am going to go in and watch some stuff that I missed. Yeah, I know you do understand, Marianne. We kind of share the same stomach issues. I guess that's part of what makes us twinnies. Although both of us probably wish it wasn't what made us twinnies, but it's kind of funny that we share so many of the same ailments. Not funny, haha, but funny, strange. You know, Kim, I wish mine would too, but hey, with a thick coat like he's got, he really does not need a sweater. I can get him to wear hats now and then, and I have managed to get pictures of him with sunglasses on, which he looks so hilarious with a pair of sunglasses on. It's so funny. First year we had him, I got pictures of him with the Santa hat on, and he was so cute. That's right, Marianne. We have lots of fantastic things that make us twinnies. You're definitely right there. We do have so much in common. It's just amazing to me. Icy is, I think, coming up on 7 years old. I have to get his paperwork out and look to be absolutely sure, but I'm thinking he's coming up on 7 years old. So he's getting to be an old man. It's kind of nice. My hubby will take him out for walks. Sometimes during the week, he'll get him out to the park. Yes, he is such a sweet boy. You're right about that. Sometimes during the week, my hubby will get him out to the park for a run, but Icy knows when the weekend is here that that's his time. And if the hubby doesn't take him out, he gets really upset with him. But he did get out for a really good run at the park yesterday. And that seems to really curb his energy for a little while. So today he's just kind of hanging out, laying around. With Icy, it's hard to tell if he's getting gray because, I mean, that's kind of part of his coloring anyway. So I have been brushing him and brushing him and brushing him, and every time I think I've just about got all the floof brushed out, go a few days and it's like another floof explosion happening. So I will be glad when he is done shedding the summer coat. I keep a shopping bag close to me, and I just kind of stuff all his fur in that as I'm brushing him. And as I fill them up, I throw them in the trash and off they go. Well, I've got one shopping bag that's like really full right now. But I usually get enough fur off of him when he hits floof season to build another husky. So what is everybody working on? Anybody got anything fun on their hook? Oh, 10. Yes, I do know dog hair can be spun, Tank. Unfortunately, Icy is a digger, and he likes to dig himself holes, which he will then lay in. And so his fur quite often looks a little muddy. And I give him baths, and I give him baths. In fact, he just had a bath last week, and he already looks grubby again. So I don't try to have his fur spun. Oh, thank you. This is my tunic. It's quite long. It goes like actually down past my knees, and it's all V-shaped, just like what you can see. So it has the handkerchief type hem, kind of. You know, Marianne, that would be really fun to work with. I agree. When Bod had her dog's fur spun up, I thought that was kind of cool. You know, it's funny. Some people were kind of grossing out about it, but when you think about it, I mean, natural fibers like wool, like llama, like alpaca, like Angora, they're all coming from animals. What does dog fur, why does that make any difference? You know, just because it's a dog. I don't quite get the rationale, but oh, thank you, Hope. I appreciate that. I am trying to get my ideas together and my creative space together to be able to put out more content for you guys. It is a slow process, but I'm trying to get it done. I did order some more shelving last week, and I got it yesterday, so I've got some more shelving to put up. And what will be nice about that is it has shelving space on one side and hanging space on the other, so I'll be able to hang some of my crocheted makes up in my creative space. So that will be nice to have as a backdrop. So I bought myself something pretty cool the other day. It is a neck thingy that I can put my phone on. Right now I've got my phone, the holder on the whatever tripod that this is, that I'm broadcasting this to you guys, but I can put the holder for my phone on here, put it around my neck, and adjust it, and it puts it at just the right spot that I can, like, be crocheting or whatever, and you guys can see my hands. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some content with that. And a crocheted frame. Ooh, that would be really neat, Marianne. I can't wait to see what you do. How do you like how they work, Julianne? I haven't really tried recording with it yet, but I mean, I have tried working with it on, and crocheting and stuff with it on, just to see how I can do with it. Yeah, Marianne, we all definitely want to see if you do a crocheted frame. You could definitely do some really beautiful stuff. I can see that happening. Are you going to do it with regular yarn, or are you thinking crochet cotton? Did yours come with a strap to help stabilize it, Julianne? Mine has a strap that... So right up here, you can see these two little spots. It has a strap that will Velcro into each side, and it kind of goes around and under your arms to kind of help stabilize things. So I find that that works pretty good. Well, Marianne, since it has, I don't know, what color are you thinking? Because with your logo, your W logo, looking kind of like your W logo, kind of reminds me of a like a wrought iron design, and you could do something in black thread, something kind of scrolly or something like that, and probably have a really cool frame. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Oh, doing good.
That's good. My neighbor just coming out. They had the Notre Dame Purdue game yesterday, so his voice sounds a little scratchy. I bought some Puerto Rican espresso ground coffee the other day, and my hubby made the coffee this morning, and I got my first cup of coffee and took my first sip of it, and I was like, hallelujah! It was so strong. Oh my God. I had to take a few sips and add some more cream to it so that I could stand to drink it. It was like instant light up. I was like, I asked him, I said, what coffee did you make? He said, whatever that was in the canister. And I was like, okay, that explains it. That stuff is monster strong. Okay. I don't know why, but my chat my chat on my phone that I'm recording or that I'm doing the live from seems to have frozen. I don't know why it's doing that. So I'm going to have to look down at my other one. Yeah, I will say I definitely enjoy the strong coffee, but boy, that stuff is really strong. It's funny, I used to have an espresso machine. My best friend had given it to me. Unfortunately, she gave it to me as a wedding gift, and unfortunately, it was one of the things that the ex claimed. So I didn't argue with him a whole lot about it. I just let him have the thing. I got the dog. That was the better deal, I think. He wanted to take the dog back too, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. That could have been a long, drawn-out custody battle. Hey, Linda, welcome in. Nice to see you. Well, no, Icy wasn't. No, that's not when I got Icy. Icy was a rescue dog. The particular dog that I'm talking about, this has been years ago when I lived in Tennessee, and she was a purebred German Shepherd. She was a beautiful dog, and I raised her from an itty-bitty puppy. The gal that had the litter of puppies was a person that I worked with, and she kind of chose my husband and I as the people to get that puppy. Her dog had had a litter of puppies, and they were hoping that it would calm her down. Unfortunately, she just had some hyperactive problems, and so having puppies didn't calm her down. But what ended up happening with that litter of puppies is several of them got very sick and died. And she noticed the puppy that I ended up getting, she noticed that she was getting sick. So she had had a vet appointment for one of the puppies that ended up passing away. So she took Nina to the vet in that puppy's place, and come to find out she had some kind of blood thing going on. So they got her back into fairly decent health, but she ended up with a blood clot right underneath her tail. So she had to go in at a very young age. Just barely weaned, and she was in having surgery on this blood clot. But Liz decided that she wanted me to have the puppy because she knew that we would have we would take good care of her and make sure that she got all the medical stuff she needed. So yeah, and Nina, she was always very small for a German Shepherd, um, but she was a beautiful dog. She was a black and tan, and I really enjoyed having her while I had her. She was just special, and it was kind of funny because she would not mind my ex, but she knew, like, if I called, she knew it meant get over here and get over here now. She knew when Mom talked, it was time to listen. So I was always able to control her a lot better than he could. But we all have our roles in a dog's life, I guess. But it was nice having her when I did. I lived up on top of a hill in Tennessee, and it was pretty deserted up there. And it was nice having her because she was definitely a good guard dog. So, yeah. Now, has my chat here frozen too? Okay. This is going to drive me crazy. Yeah, so Liz had already named her when we got her. So her name was Nina, and I always called her Neener Beaner. Yes, she did end up maybe not living as long as normal for a shepherd, but she did end up living quite a long life, and she had a very good life. Being a country dog, she definitely had a lot of fun, a lot of space to run, and so it was nice. Where I lived, we had woods out behind us, and whenever she could, she would get out there and run around in the woods. There were a lot of deer back there, so I have a feeling she had fun getting back there, chasing the deer around and stuff. But I am extremely allergic to poison ivy, and she would get out in those woods and romp around and bring back poison ivy on her fur. And of course, you have a dog, you're going to pet your dog. Yeah, well, I'd end up with poison ivy every time from petting the dog. Good morning, Chuck. Heidelberg Shepherds. Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard of Heidelberg Shepherds. I'm kind of looking at both screens because I can barely see the chat on the phone that I'm broadcasting live on. I mean, if I squint real hard, I can see it, but yeah. Okay, they look like German police shepherds. All right. Guggenheim Terrier? No, can't say that I have. Hello, Light Star. Nice to see you in. I think you're new here. Thank you, everybody that is here, who's left their thummies. I can see that most of you have. I appreciate that. And I hope that if you're not subscribed to me, I hope that you will go ahead and do that whenever you have a chance to. As I said, I am going to try and start putting out a bit more. Whoops, don't bump the camera. I'm going to try and start putting out a bit more content now that fall is here and the garden is kind of at its end. I think I've still got a bunch of tomatoes to harvest. What kind of content do I make? Mostly crocheting, and I do a lot of other types of crafting. So I will be doing some other crafting videos this fall as well, this fall and winter. As I said earlier in the video, I am planning to do what's called a trio blanket, which is a very simple blanket that you do with 3 colors of yarn. And it's nice because you don't have to cut your yarn at any point, well, until you're done with the blanket, basically. So, do I show my gardening? Right now, I have not. To be very honest with you, my garden is kind of a mess, and I mean, it's, you know, not the beautiful garden space that I would like to have. You know, Karen, and that bead that I made, it still has your name on it. I just haven't totally finished it off, but it does have your name on it. So at some point, it's going to be making its way to your house. Cut under pressure. Tank, that sounds right. I'm kind of a visual person, so if I could see what you're talking about, it probably... Well, Light Star, my garden should be very in line with nature then, because mine is really a mess. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you've got bronchitis, Tank. That's no fun. Light Star, I really enjoy being out in the woods as well. I grew up on what had been a peony farm, and nobody had lived in the property for 20 years before we moved there. And so we had 13 acres of the original property left, and it was very overgrown, basically a jungle. So we spent a lot of our time out in the woods. The part you're in question of is pull through 2 each time. So You know, Light Star, that is a lot of fun. Now, do you forage for things out in the forest? Welcome back, Hope. Because I used to spend a lot of time. Growing up where I did, I was in Lower Michigan, and having all the woods and fields and everything available to me, we had a lot of wild edibles growing out there that we could go out and forage. So I spent a lot of time out in those woods and fields foraging. Yeah. Oh, you like to collect things, sticks and rocks? I am a rock collector, big time. Yeah, that is one of my favorite things. Yes, Tank, if you're able to do herbal medicines, I definitely am in that wheelhouse. Yeah, when I was talking with my neighbor yesterday, I gave her a bunch of my rocks that I've collected. I think I've probably shown this before, but this is one of my absolute favorite rocks that I have. And this rock I did not collect. When my husband went back to Tunisia for a visit, the last time that he was able to go, he asked me what I wanted him to bring me. And I told him that I didn't care what he brought, but I wanted a rock. And he just laughed at me because he knows how much I love to collect rocks. And he just kind of laughed and said, yeah, Majnuna, which means crazy. So, yeah, so a few days before he was getting ready to come back home, he called me up and he said, I'm getting ready to go shopping. What do you want me to bring home to you? And I said, I don't care. Anything you want. You've got good taste. And I want a rock. And he just laughed at me again. So later on, before he came home, he told his mom about me collecting rocks, how much I loved rocks, and that I wanted him to bring a rock home to me. So she went over to a cabinet and opened a drawer and pulled out this rock and gave it to him and insisted that he bring it home to me. She had found it. They have some fields that they grow olive trees in, and she had been walking out in one of those fields and found that rock and took it home and basically just put it away in the drawer. So, yeah. So I call this the heart of Tunisia. And what I love about this, there has been no kind of treatment given to this stone at all. It's very smooth, and the shine on it is basically all natural. So, yeah, it's a very special stone to me, and I keep it displayed on one of my tables in my living room. Yeah, right. Leave her right there. I've heard that one a lot. Yeah, let me, while I'm sitting here, I've got some other rocks right close by. Let me grab one and show you. I will be right back. If I can get up without knocking over my camera. So anybody that lives in Michigan is really familiar with Petoskey stones. Petoskey stones are a fossil coral that that particular fossil coral is found a lot in the Michigan area, specifically up by Petoskey. So it is Michigan state stone. And normally when you go to the lake, especially around Petoskey, the beaches on the Great Lakes, the rocks are all water tumbled and usually are very smooth. And you know, it's really fun to find the really nice smooth Petoskey stones because the coral polyps are very well defined and everything, and very pretty rocks. I went on a camping trip with my brother a few years back. We went Labor Day weekend, and we were going to do a circumnavigation of the entire Lake Michigan, but we found out that they were doing construction on the Mackinac Bridge, and there were going to be wait times of 3 to 4 hours to get across the bridge. We decided we did not want to spend that much time sitting and waiting to get across a bridge. That was going to cut into our time to be able to go to parks and enjoy walking around. And my purpose for the trip was to go rock hounding. And if I'm sitting in the car for 3 or 4 hours, that isn't accomplishing that. So what we decided to do instead is we started off over by Lake Erie and then just basically went up and around the entire edge of the mitten, which meant we were hitting, instead of just Lake Michigan, we went along Lake Erie for a little ways, then Lake Huron, and then down the other side of the state was all Lake Michigan. And I kind of put together an itinerary of places that I wanted to stop while we were on that trip. So one of the places that we went was called Rockport, and it's very famous because it was a rock quarry for a long time, and they used to quarry really beautiful stone out of there. Lake Huron has more fossils in there in that lake than I have ever seen anywhere. When you go to the beach on Lake Huron, you can find all kinds of really cool coral fossils and shell fossils, crinoid fossils, just lots of fun stuff. But one of the things at the Rockport Quarry is they would quarry Petoskey stones. So this is a Petoskey stone, but it is a rough Petoskey stone. It has not been water tumbled. So at the Rockport Quarry, they have lots of old tailing piles, which is where I found this. And you can find lots and lots of these coral fossils. So I brought several of these home just because I thought they were so cool. Being so used to seeing the water polished Petoskey stones, it was a lot of fun getting some of the rough stuff. So hey Helix, hey BB, thank you all for stopping in. I see there's a few of you I missed. Let me kind of Yes, Tank, I would love to go to a glass beach as well. Um, that would be definitely. Good morning, Margaret and crickets. Yes, Helix, I have a lot of crickets around me. I was telling everybody earlier, if I was out in the backyard, you'd hear them even louder. It's one way you know that my neighborhood is a very quiet neighborhood. When you can hear the crickets that loud in a neighborhood, you know you're living in a quiet place. On the weekends, this place is amazingly quiet. It was funny when I first moved here, for about the first 2 weeks of living here, I didn't know if I had any neighbors. Um, Now, the house to the left of me was empty and had been for quite a few years. But the house to the right of me, um, I did have neighbors, but at the time that I moved in, they were sick, so they didn't come over and bring their illness to my house, which I appreciated. At that time, I was taking care of my mom, and yeah, didn't need to make her sick. But yeah, I would see people coming to and from work every day, but aside from that, I just really did not know if I had any neighbors whatsoever in this neighborhood. But of course, since then, I have gotten to know most of my close by neighbors. I haven't gotten to know really people on down the block. A lot of the property down on that end of the block is rental property, so the neighbors kind of tend to change a little more quickly. On this end of the block, it seems like most of us are a little bit on the older side, and quite a few of us own our homes. So, yeah, most of us have been here for years. In fact, my neighbor to the right of me has been in that house for over 50 years. So, needless to say, she knows everything about this neighborhood, all the history, and yeah. In fact, yeah, this neighborhood has kind of an interesting history. It is a very diverse neighborhood now, um, but apparently at one time, South Bend was well known for a certain uh, organization that did not like people with other skin colors, and they tried to block people from being able to buy property in this neighborhood. So if the leader of the chapter found out that somebody was trying to buy into this neighborhood, they would swoop in and buy the house for more than, you know, what the other person was offering, just to be able to block them and not let this neighborhood become diversified. Thank God that organization no longer holds sway anymore. Um, this neighborhood actually, from what I have seen, is a fairly liberal minded neighborhood. So yeah, the diversity here is really nice. I mean, I enjoy that we have a really good mixed base of people to talk to in this neighborhood. So, yeah, I like it. And once again, my chat is frozen. Crazy. Well, hope it doesn't put you to sleep being so relaxing. But yeah, I agree. It is a nice relaxing sound. Um, well, I'll forgive you if you fall asleep, Hope. It is kind of late over on your side of the world, so yeah, if you fall asleep, I'm sure you probably deserve it. Well, you guys, it has been an hour. Um, I have really enjoyed hanging out here on the porch with you guys and showing a few of my odds and ends that I keep around. Um, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get back to your everyday lives, and I hope that you all enjoy your Sunday, and I hope that you're doing what makes you happy, and I will see you again next Saturday. I do plan to be back live on Saturday, barring any unforeseen circumstances. I have to be careful about what I eat on Friday night, I guess, so that I don't have a bad night. Um, yeah, so I will see you all again on Saturday. Possibly sooner. I may do something during the week, pop in and do a quick little live. Maybe I'll pop in and do a live showing the beginning of my trio blanket. I know I did a square back when Kim at Fortunate Creations was doing a um, bring your own square type thing. A few of us had kind of jumped on the bandwagon and were um, doing some square tutorials. So one of them that I did do a trio square. So if you want to check out my videos, you will see just how to go about crocheting the trio, which is the same exact pattern that I'm going to use for the blanket, just in much larger scale. I'm hoping to make this blanket big enough to cover the top of my bed so I can use it as a bedspread. So yeah, I will try and pop in once I get all my yarn together. I will try and pop in and do a quick live showing the beginnings of my blanket. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you again real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.